If you desire to build a trading career that is highly profitable and creates time freedom, then you're in the right place. Watching this video right now. Now, this is the type of video that I wish that I found way before I started trading. For those that have been around, I've been trading nearly 9 years now, but probably for 4 of them, I just messed around. And I wish that these types of videos that I'm just about to share with you now were around then, so I could take it a lot more serious, obviously, along the way. All right. So take this video, get a pen and paper, write down this simple thing that I'm going to share with you right now. But it's the small things in everything that we do, especially in trading, that are going to make the big difference in you moving forward. All right. Now, I found the reason. I have found the reason by working with many students, by trading full time myself, of why you continuously blow accounts, as why you strategy hop, of why you chase profits, why you give up and then you come back, and why you're always looking for that extra Hail Mary strategy, because that's a form of procrastination. But this video is going to help you overcome all those obstacles, because I truly believe that I have found the answer. Now, that might sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet, but it's not. I've got results myself, my community get results. But beyond that, this is a journey that has taken me years. And I know that this video is going to help you shortcut that video, the trading journey along the way. Okay. So this week I did not trade. So last week I did not trade. You're watching this video probably on a Sunday evening. So last week I didn't trade. I just decided that I was going to recharge, school holidays, other things. And I'd been trading and looking after the community and guiding the community and being part of our own community since January. So I decided to just, right, this is what I trade for. This is why I work from home. This is why I have my own business. So I can just refresh and recharge. But it's very, very hard to detach yourself from that when you run a community. Now, big shout out to the community. They ran it themselves. They were absolutely unbelievable, helping each other out, because that's why we developed that community. But what I did was I marked the charts each day for the trades that I would have taken, or grade A trades. So I detached myself from those emotions. And not only that, I then read One Good Trade by Mike Bellafiore, hedge fund, etc. on Wall Street. And then I watched an old documentary called Wall Street Warriors. And it stood out to me even more in those exercises that I was away from my daughter, 2 of my daughter's birthdays and my son, and, you know, Planet Bounce and all these things, going out for food and spending family time. It came to me that simplicity is the key more than anything else. And I preach simplicity all the time in the way that I trade and across my videos. Precision Stack System is my system that we created over years of different things that keeps trading very, very simple. Now, it's okay saying that, oh, it's just simplify it, but there are areas within that simplifying trading that we need to speak about today. So this is what I want to share with you right now. And I wish, again, that these are the types of videos that I could have had when I started trading. The amount of opportunities that you've got with prop firms, there's so many opportunities. There's never been an easier time for you to basically make money in this game. So buckle up, again, get your pen and paper and write these things down. So like I said, simplicity is the key, right? And I'm going to share 4 simple areas that are going to take you into next week, and you're going to implement these and make money. It's as simple as that. Now, the first one is simplify the decision tree. All right. So what do I mean by that? Not the charts. We can get rid of all the indicators, because, you know, I look at price action. I just look at main levels, but we need to simplify the decision tree. All right. So most traders think simple means, well, I'm just going to remove all the indicators, which is the beginning of that, by the way. Right. But real simplicity means fewer decisions. Now, if you've been on a self-development journey for a while, you probably have come across the decisional fatigue, etc., and things like that. You've probably noticed that I always wear black, so I don't have to make a decision. I've just got my wife ordering food from Gusto, which is a home delivery food. We have to cook, but then that's, again, another decision that I don't have to make, or the wife has to make, about what food to eat or what shopping. This is very, very important when it comes to trading. The fewer decisions that you have to make, the easier it will become, which, again, that's why we get rid of indicators, or most of the indicators, and we simplify it into a very methodical way of trading, robotic-like, all right? Of course, there is discretionary in there, but that's for a different video. So you can clean your charts, all right? You can clean all your charts, but you must clean the mental side. So that mental clutter that you have needs to go. So the pros, their simplicity. I wouldn't say I'm a pro, but I trade, I make money from the markets. Okay, what defines you as a professional trader? I suppose I do it every day, so maybe that is a definition. But again, it sounds a little bit arrogant sometimes, but it is what it is. So the pros, right? We simply trade by simplifying our decision branches, all right? One setup, one trigger, one risk model. I mention this all the time because it's like when you have a combine or a evaluation or whatever, you want to go and buy 10 and you don't even know how to pass one. All right. And I know those videos are for clickbait and things like that. But if you can't pass one, what makes you think you can pass 10? Because it's 10x the decision making. It's 10x the emotional anxiety that you're going to go through. All right. So one model, one trigger, one way of thinking. It's very, very simple. So the way that you can do this, and again, write this down, right? You need to predefine everything. All right. You need to make sure that it's all logical before you even really start trading in the day. So that's why prep is very, very important. All right. Very simple. If price hits your zone, what confirmation are you looking for? When do you enter? No emotion, no debate. Now, when I lose trades or I miss trades, I'm hesitating, I'm debating, I'm having another voice in my head to speak me out or into a bad trade or I miss a trade. No emotion, no debate. And as you know, I speak about stoicism all the time. Stoicism, someone has said, but I just say stoicism. All right. That's very, very important that you go down that route. So think of decision branches. So simplify the decision tree. The less decisions I need to make, the easier it's going to be for me to execute on that trade. All right. Very, very important. A little tip here. Simplicity is structured pre-commitment, not visual minimalism. Little key there, little key. So the next step, all right, is one of our simplicity. Area number 2 is trade systems, not signals. All right. So what do I mean by that? So complexity is hidden, all right, in between your setups. So if you ever look at the charts, you will see many, many different spikes and many traps along the way. That complexity part is where you're going to lose most of your money as a new retail trader. How do I know? I went through years of doing it and my students still go through it now. And that's part of the learning journey. And that's the complexity part. That's where the market is trying to get you in to entice you to get your money so it can take your money and obviously try and get you out of good positions. That's what the market is doing. Remember, this is algorithms and the world's best mathematicians and the world's best technology, and you're fighting against that. And you must understand that that's what the arena that you are in at that moment in time. So the complexity part is always in between the key levels that you should be trading for, right? We do not want to improvise. If we start to improvise in that complexity zone, we're going to lose the money. So don't trade signals in between complex levels, all right? Trade the system because your system will be at the key levels, all right? So again, most of you jump in from signal to signal because you don't have a simple system. Or you're jumping from this, or you're jumping from the orb, or you're jumping from an IFG, or you're jumping from an order block, or you're jumping from a whatever all these crazy words are, right? You don't need them as in relation to find what works for you. So if it is IFG, if it is order blocks, is it supply and demand, whatever it works for you, stick to that area of interest. Trade your system and not your signals, all right? So a little tip here is simplicity isn't fewer tools in a way. Yes, I always preach to get rid of certain indicators, etc., and things like that. It's fewer improvisations. And those improvisations come from fewer decisions that you're going to make, okay? So your system should be simple enough that you can explain it or write it down on the back of a napkin. That's what they've all said. That's one of the most famous trading quotes. Your system should be simple enough to write it down on the back of a napkin, give it to me, and I fully understand that. Some of the students that I work with, they come in, they've been trading years, they're not profitable. And it's very, very clear why they're not profitable. They have far too complex strategies. So they never know. One decision is always questioned by another decision. Okay, we don't need that because that's going to make trading very, very hard. All right, get rid of the complexity and simplify it. If your strategy needs a massive explanation, it's too long. Trade systems, not signals. The next one, okay, number 3 is simplicity of your feedback loop theory. Now I've created a great video on the feedback loop theory. Go and check that out, of how you need to use the feedback loop theory for you to progress in life, in trading, etc., and things like that. But when it comes to trading, and now we're going to simplify that, is you can't improve what you don't measure. I'm guilty of this myself still now. I have journal after journal. I have this and that. I should journal more. Not for me, but mainly to show the community even more. Now, I get the community to obviously journal and things like that, all right? But you're not measuring what you need to measure. You're measuring noise, all right? And what I try and do on this channel is come away from all the noise, come away from all the nonsense, come away from all that crap that you see everywhere, and measure what really, really works, okay? So what you see across the board, and what you've probably done, is you've measured P&L. People always say to me, "Friend, how much can I make in the first 3 or 4 months or 6 months once I learn your strategy?" And I shut them down straight away. And I say, that's the wrong question. The wrong question is, how much can I earn? All right? That's not what it is. That is, what can I measure? That's the question, all right? Because your P&L is a lagging metric. It's a lagging metric. It's after the behaviors that you've already put into the market. So you need to simplify your feedback. And a simple feedback loop focuses on the process metrics. I talk about process, okay? Concentrate on the process. Get the dopamine and the results and the feedback from the process. Did you follow the process? Did I follow my rules? Was my execution correct? Was it the right time that I executed? Was it too early? Was it too late? These are the types of things that you must do. Now, this is the boring work. Nobody wants to do this, by the way. Even I still don't want to do this. Nobody wants to do this. But if you do this work right now, you're going to shortcut the journey. You're not going to have to go and lose $30,000 like myself over the period of 3 or 4 years. You're not going to have to jump in and gamble and things like that. You're not going to have to do that. So take these habits from this video and start this week, all right? Did you size correctly? Very, very important, all right? These are boring checkpoints. They are boring checkpoints, but they simplify improvement, because you need to isolate variables. The market will do what it needs. You're the variable. And if you have too many variables, which means too many decisions, decisional fatigue, too many indicators, too many tabs open on your computer or your laptop, computer, PC, whatever you do, too many, sound my age then, computer, too many different strategies, following a breakout trader, then a reversal trader, then a futures trader, then an options trader, then a crypto trader, then a meme coin trader. It's going to be too much, all right? You need to get rid of all the noise. So that's number 3. 4th and the final one is simplicity requires emotional discipline. And I know. This is the hardest part of life. Emotional discipline is the hardest point of life, the hardest area, because the brain and the mind works in a very, very deep way. And I'm not going to go into this right now. I've done many videos on that, and I will in the future. But the hardest simplicity is emotional simplicity, because you get bored. Detachment, or detaching your identity from the outcomes, is a superpower, my friends. Detaching identity from the outcomes is a superpower. In a world where nobody can even not scroll on TikTok, or they can't watch a video for 10 minutes long, you are ahead of the game if you can focus for a week, never mind a day. You are ahead of the game, okay? So you need to detach yourself from any outcomes. What will be, will be. Now, what has helped me in this is Stoicism, Stoic. I read a lot of Stoic stuff, philosophy, Marcus Aurelius. Also faith in whatever your faith is, that whatever will be, you can only put the work in, and the actions are out of the results are out of your control. So that's why you detach yourself from the outcome. You can take action, but the outcome is out of your control. Now, a lot of the time, universal law, a lot of the actions will lead to progress. but you don't know when you don't know when those results or the positive results or those winning results are going to come. Inevitably, they're going to come because of universal law, but you don't know when. So don't worry about that. Now, in trading, you need to detach yourself from the outcome. It's very, very important, all right? So a simple strategy, all right, fails when your emotions overcomplicate it. Have you ever noticed, like what I've done this week? I'll go back and look at that chart. There's one losing trade for my strategy. I took 10 trades throughout the week without taking the trades, just looking at it, because I'm going to share this on our member stream tonight, and one losing trade all week. But would I have taken all those trades? Would I have held all those trades? 99% probably not. And the reason being is because emotions, and if you're not self-aware at that specific moment, they will dictate your decision making. So that's where the power is, okay? So once you overthink, you tweak, or you revenge trade, you've broken the simplicity. The minute you revenge or move your stop loss or try and jump in a trade that's not yours, or change the asset and try and jump in gold when you only trade NQ, I know because I've done this many times, you've now broken the simplicity. And now the mind will try and fix it, all right? So how you're going to practice this is define your emotional barriers. Are you greedy? Are you fearful? Are you in a rush to make money? Do you lack self-control? Have you got bad discipline? Do you have other habits in the background that can cause problems? Could that be whatever? I'm not going to go into habits, all right? I'm not here to give people a lecture on what's right and what's wrong. Most people already know, all right? But what is your emotional boundaries in your system? Is it 2 losses and you walk away? Is it 1 loss and you walk away? Is it, I'm only going to risk $500 on a trade and then I'm going to call it a day? What's your daily P&L? What's your daily loss limit? All right. What are these triggers that if you break, completely go out the window? And that's what puts you on tilt. Check out the last video on tilt or the video before. All right. So you need to understand what your triggers are. I know my triggers is New York because it's afternoon for me in the UK and I've got kids to make sure need looking after and school runs and things like that and dinner and sit the wife and all these types of things. So I know if I'm trying to trade New York, it's emotionally triggering for me. All right. At this moment in time. So I know to stay away from that. But the minute I try and get involved, probably going to go wrong for me. All right. So I know that. So you need to frame it in this way. Simplicity is not mechanical. It's emotional mastery disguised as minimalism. Let me read that again. Simplicity is not just mechanical, because mechanical trading, methodical trading, all this stuff, you see this across the board now. That's how everybody wants to trade. That's how I trade, to simplify it. But the biggest part of that is sticking to the emotional boundaries, sticking to the emotional rules. So it's emotional mastery disguised as minimalism. Emotional mastery disguised as minimalism. All right. So I want to wrap this up. Simplicity is going to be the one that takes you to the next level. If you need any help in that, then again, you know where I am. Click the link below. Come and learn with me and the community in a precision stack system. Work with me on a one-to-one basis and get that value personally. Not a big team, just me personally. And I'll take you to that next level to get you funded, to get you profitable, and start giving you that time freedom that you want. But I'm going to leave you with this line here. If you fix the mental and structural clutter, not the chart clutter, your trading won't fail. It's very, very simple. Simplicity isn't the absence of tools, it's the absence of noise.